Hello, everyone. Hey, how you doing? I hope your day's going well. I'm gonna walk around here, introduce myself, and talk to you a little bit. Uh, how you doing? Hope you're all doing well. My name is Harold Reynolds. You may know me from watching Major League Baseball. I work at MLB Network. But for the last 20 years, I've covered the Little League World Series, the Big League World Series, high school, you name it. I've been covering baseball for almost 20 seasons. Before that, I was a Major League All-Star second baseman and played 12 years in the big leagues. So you're probably wondering, what am I doing talking to you about hip replacement? Well, Dr. Roy Davidovitch is my doctor, and I want to tell you a little bit about my journey through my right hip replacement. It was May 4, 2020. I had been in pain for about a year and a half, 2 years, and it kind of started slowly. I had a degenerate hip, but in our studios at MLB, we do a lot of interacting, showing how guys might hit or they might slide or different things like that. So I remember Manny Machado made a play in the playoffs for the Dodgers, and he slid and he wiped his hands at a guy, and they called it an automatic double play. So I go over to our Studio 42 and I slide, and I've been doing this for 10 years in the studio, and all of a sudden I was like, man, that hurt. And then as I continued to be an avid runner that I am, I'm not a distance runner, I run more sprints. And continue to run, and all of a sudden over the next year, my hip started getting worse and worse and worse. My pain was in my growing area and in my hamstring. And I'd never really ever had a major injury. So I thought maybe I pulled a hamstring or pulled a groin, and the pain continued to persist. So I saw a couple different doctors and had a cortisone shot in my hip and had been taking anti-inflammatories over the course of about a year and a half, and it just didn't get better. And so July of 2019, a year earlier, I was running in Florida at a high school on a track, and that was the last time that I could full out run. After that, I couldn't hardly lift my leg, I couldn't explode, I had nothing going on, it just wasn't right. So I have a couple colleagues that I work with at MLB Network. Al Leiter is a former Major League pitcher. He pitched 20 years in the big leagues, and you may know him if you're in the New York area, pitching for the Mets, or if you're down in Florida, he won a World Series for the Marlins. And then another guy named Dan Plesac, who pitched 19 years himself. He played with the Phillies, but probably you may know him from the Milwaukee Brewers. He's in their Hall of Fame. So anyway, I give you all this background to tell you how I ended up with Dr. Davidovitch. So those two had had surgeries with the doctor, and they raved about it. Harold, the pain will be gone. It's going to be great. You're going to be all right. I was driving my car in 3 weeks. I'm back golfing and playing in a couple months. You'll be fine. Those are the reports they were giving me. Well, obviously, when you're talking about hip replacement, you have hesitation, and you have worry, and you have fear, and that's okay. Those are real. I went through all of those. And so as I started to come up on that time to see if I was going to have my hip surgery, I did my MRI, I did the x-rays and everything. So by the time I got to Dr. Davidovitch, he'd seen all my records, yet he still took the next step to make sure that I was prepared for this, and so was he, and that I was ready for it. So I met with him in his office. He had me walk to look at what my walk might look like. He explained what was going on with my hip and why my groin and my hamstring and my knee pain were all connected to my hip. We went through all that. Then I took x-rays, and he showed me the x-rays of where my hip socket was not functioning the way it should be. So it was full on time to the hip replacement. No, oh no, I don't want to do this. No way, major surgery. I'm not ready for that. He and his staff made me so comfortable that I was ready to do it. So then we were gonna do this surgery in March of 2020, and all of a sudden, the whole world gets hit with a coronavirus 19 pandemic. And all of a sudden, now I can't do the surgery. I've got myself mentally ready. I'm ready to go. It gets pushed off. So in the middle of the pandemic, on May 4th, we do the hip replacement. 2 weeks before that, I get a call from him that says, we're starting to loosen things up in New York. It's safe. We'll take care of you. No doubt about it. So I do it at NYU. They have a COVID unit Things are happening in New York. It's exploding with COVID-19. But he trusted and knew so much that he was going to be safe, that he wouldn't put himself or his family or any of his workers in harm's way. He comforted me in that sense that I said, all right, let's do the surgery. So now back to the procedure of the surgery. As I go into getting ready for the surgery, he explained to me the surgery was going to be an hour and a half long. And once I came out of surgery, I'd be in the recovery room. But prior to that, his whole staff, normally you would get to go in the office and do all these things. They virtually talked to me about how I was going to rehab, how I would get into the shower, out of the shower, how I would get out of the bed, what I might go through, and the medicines that I would have to be taking, and the icing routine that I have to have and do as I ice my leg. They made it so clear and so simple that I knew all I needed to do was show up on time for my surgery, have the procedure, and then follow the game plan, as he would like to call it. Follow his game plan and the guidelines. So let me take you to May 4th. I show up at 6 o'clock in the morning. The surgery's right around 8 o'clock. I see him in the pre-op room, and he comforts me, encourages me. This is going to be great. You'll be all right. And I'm like, how many of these things you do? How many have you done before? I wanted to know everything. Now, I know Al and Dan had done the research on this guy. And listen, folks, we have access, we as Major League players and former Major League players, to the best in the world. So Al Leiter had done his research. He checked on the doctor in Colorado who'd done surgeries on a lot of Major League Baseball players. He checked on somebody else down in Alabama. He went all over the country making sure that he had found the right guy. And that's where he found Dr. Roy Davidovitch in New York City, right here, not too far from all of us. And once Al had done his homework and said, this is the guy, then I believed it, because his homework was extensive. And you know what? This is the guy. He's one of the best in the world, world renowned, and he's phenomenal at what he did. And the biggest thing to me was the comfort and the understanding that he knew exactly what he was going to do to be able to bring you through this thing. So all that led up to May 4th, 2020. So that morning I get dropped off because of the pandemic. I can't go in. I go in, I got my mask, I got my gloves, I go into the waiting room, to the room there where the nurses get me ready, swab down, get ready, go into surgery. They do the surgery. I come out, it's an hour and a half surgery. I'm in recovery for about 2 hours. And as I'm laying on the recovery bed, they come out and say, all right, here's your crutches. I want you to get up and walk to the restroom because you're gonna have to go to the bathroom a lot after all the anesthesia and everything that they do for you. You're flushing all these things out of your body. So I get up, and sure enough, as I get up, and everybody told me, you won't feel any pain anymore where you were feeling in the groin and in the hamstring. You know what? They were 100% right. I get out of the bed, not fully strong as I am today, but I get out, I got my crutches, and you start walking. And you're like, what? I'm walking? It's almost frightening that I start walking down to the restroom. All right? So I go to the restroom, I walk back to my bed. Nurse comes in, explains to me how you're gonna start getting out of your bed at home and all the things that you will have previously had in your kit. Now it's real, now it's active. So then it's time for me to leave. They obviously cannot let you walk out of a hospital, so they put you in the wheelchair, wheel me up, and now it's time to get out and get in the car. So I go home, and sure enough, I walk out of the house, and I'm gonna show you video. I'll send all that to the doctor, and they can put it all in. I got my mask on, I'm telling everybody, all right, I'm home. I'm almost in shock that I'm not feeling the pain that I thought I might, and that I'm actually walking. So the next couple days go by, and I'm starting to wonder, is it just the medicine why I'm feeling as good as I am? Or is it really the procedure that everybody's talking to? Meanwhile, Dan's calling me up going, how you feeling? Day 3. Now, day 3 is gonna be tough. You'll be a little bit sore. By the time you get to day 5, you're gonna be on your way. And sure enough, everything everybody told me, from the doctor's staff, from Dr. Davidovitch to Dan and Al, everything came to fruition. And so by day 5 or day 6 or day 7, I was up and cruising. By day 7, I didn't even want my crutches anymore. A matter of fact, I remember talking to Doc and saying, I'm feeling so good, I'm afraid I need to slow down. And so then he started allowing me to start to walk a little bit more. And by week 2, I was totally off of crutches. I was actually able to go on a walk. And by week 2.5 or so, I went on a mile walk with no crutches and came back the next day. Now the key is you have to continue to ice, and you have to take the medicine regimen around the clock that they have for you. One that is going to help you with anti-inflammatory. Another one is aspirin. That's going to help you from clogging or blotting in your body to keep your bloodstream flowing properly. And then the other one is Tylenol, which was really basically for the pain. I never took the heavy stuff that they prescribed. I never needed it. Now I know not everybody's going to be in that situation, and I was kind of fortunate that I did not need the pain medicine that I'm at. So now I bring you to where I'm at today. This is week 3. I can get up and out of the chair. I can move around, lift my legs. I can even run. I'm not supposed to do any pounding yet, so I'm not going to take off and run for you because I'm not doing that. But I can walk. I can continue to ride a stationary bike as I started doing this week. And I can also continue doing the physical therapy. And I've done it all right here at home. Because of the pandemic, I've had to be here. So you, depending on where we're at right now, you might be able to have a real physical therapist help you through, or the routine is so simple and it is so clear and concise that you can do what I'm doing as I did it here at home. So my party message is, it's okay to be afraid. I'm 59 years old. I know I look younger. That's from my mom's side of the family. And everybody told me 59 years old, that is too young to have a hip replacement. But when it's time, it's time. I don't care if you're 80 or 60 or 59 in my case, or maybe even I've heard as early as 28, 30 years old, somebody's had it done. When it's your time to have it done, it's your time to have it done. But I will end it with this. I kept hearing a resounding theme from everybody, not just Al Leiter and Dan Plesac, but a number of people I talked to about hip replacement, that you wish you did it before. And you know what? As I sit here today on May 30th, 2020, just 3 weeks removed from surgery, I wish I'd done it earlier. I feel that good. So be encouraged. Don't be afraid. That is natural. But listen to the doc. He's the best in the business, and his staff is right there with him. So thank you for listening. That's a little bit of my journey. And as my journey continues, I'll continue to get stronger and better every day. And I wish the best for you. Be comforted in knowing the fact that you will get through this, you will get better, and you will get stronger. But you're making the right decision with Dr. Roy Davidovitch at the hands, working you to get you back. Thank you for listening. We'll see you soon, and all the best to you. God bless you.